Hello and welcome to another episode of All Elite Arcade. Of course, it is Monday. That is when the episodes drop out. That is when we talk video games. And as always, Chugs, I know you have, I know I have, but I played a bunch of video games this week.
Oh yeah. Real good week for video game playing. Real good week.
Oh yeah, was it ever? And I want to start by talking about a game that's quite hot right now, a game that I never thought I would be into, and that is Arc Raiders. We've talked about this before, but we're way more focused on single player games typically. I like roguelikes. You like the story based games. We both like RPGs and so on and so forth. But every now and then I'll dabble in an extraction shooter of some kind. Helldivers, we both got really into that one. Helldivers 2
good.
From last year, incredible game. This year, the big hot multiplayer game that people are playing is called Arc Raiders. Arc Raiders is a multiplayer extraction game, and what's different about this one is that you can play alone, you can play in a team up to, I believe, 3, and you are placed on several maps. There are several maps you can play at. When you start the game, you only have the option to select one, but as you level up, you get more. They get more difficult. But on the map, I believe there's a total of 21 players maximum. And doesn't matter if you're one person, doesn't matter if you're a team of 3, however you are mingled, you're thrown on a map. And it's a very quiet, atmospheric game where you go around and you loot things, and the hopes is that you loot the pieces that you need to acquire or make the missions that you need to acquire, get to an extraction zone, which in this case is not like getting pulled away by a helicopter or by a plane. In this like post-apocalyptic world that is Arc Raiders, we all live underground, so you go back to an elevator. So you essentially press to request an elevator. You have, a 2-minute delay until the elevator shows up, which of course makes a ton of noise, which will attract a bunch of enemies. And you hope that you escape with the stuff that you did. And that is kind of like the loop. You go into a map, you pick up some stuff, you do a few missions, you leave, so on and so forth. What I think is very unique and different about this one is that it is party chat based, but if you are playing it within the game, it's proximity chat based. So when you are on a map and you hear a gunshot, you know that gunshot is another person, like a human being in the game. There are no people shooting guns except for drones. They have a much different sound. And the sound design in this is incredible. You can really tell apart, like, one, you can hear footsteps. If they talk and have proximity chat on, a thing that I think is super interesting, if I'm outside a building and I walk by a building and they are talking inside the building, I can hear the reverberations of a person talking like in a big empty space. And as you get closer, you hear it louder. And it's the same thing when you're communicating with your friend. If you have proximity chat, it's the same thing. If your party separates too far, you can't have a conversation. If you get closer, you can have a better sounding conversation. There's length to it. And so the sound design makes this very interesting. And what makes it even more interesting is that when you interact with the enemies of the game, which are drones and robots, there might be later things that are not those things, but at this moment, that is like the main stuff. Those quite dangerous, but pretty straightforward. You understand, like, that thing is bad, I have to kill it, or hide, or I have to escape from it. You know what its intent is. But when you see a human being in the game, that's when it gets very stressful in this game. Because when you see someone else, you then get into this conversation with them. Or you could also use, there's the spin wheel with like predetermined answers, so you can at least do this without talking for the people who do not like microphone play. But if you do like microphone play, you then end up, I will hear a sound, hear a gunshot, and I'll be like, hello, hey, I'm here. Please do not kill me. Or are we cool? Or do you want to team up and stuff? And that's kind of what makes this game different, is that you go into these like little interpersonal relationship things with people that you don't know, and you have to trust, or you decimate them on the spot, or you get decimated on the spot. It makes it very stressful for a game that is actually quite calming most of the time. When you're just looting and there are no drones around and there are no people to interact with, it's fine. It's kind of calming. It's like a nice little 10-minute routine. You fill your inventory with all these scraps you need. You get to the elevator, you leave. Game done, great day. But every time you do interact with a real person, that's when it gets stressful to me, because your run could end so suddenly in these things because you could die very easily. You're not a bullet sponge in this. And I'll give you an example of this. While you might end up fighting someone, there are drones in this game. And several times I've had, I played this with 2 of my friends over the week, and that's kind of how I got really into it. There are times where you say, hey, are we cool? And they say, yeah, not a problem. But then one of them decides, F it, I'm going to shoot and kill one guy. And you end up in this all-out, war 3v3. And what's cool about that is, while you are doing that, there are drone enemies that are much stronger than others. And every time you make a shot, it produces sound. And if you're producing sound, it attracts drones and attracts sensors and so on and so forth. And so if you're having a big out war and it doesn't end quickly, it is almost a guaranteed that it will be quickly followed by a massive swarm of drones or a giant mechanical spider. So in this instance, the war that I'm talking about, it was a 3v3. We're constantly shooting. Some people die. They walk away. We revive them behind a wall. It's kind of like cover fire. You don't have a button for cover fire, but you're constantly coming around a corner trying to fight them. And as I'm doing this, my full intent is to kill all 3 of these people. The second the spider shows up, almost universally, anytime this has happened, everyone drops any semblance of war between each other, and they all unite to fight this one thing because nothing is more terrifying than the large enemies in this video game. And they get larger. So as you progress into this game, you'll get more and more difficult tasks, which means more and more difficult enemies. While I have played this, I believe 10 to 15 hours, I still feel like I'm scratching the difficulty curve right now. Because my friends are a little earlier than I am, so I'm still in the early parts of it. But I did a bit of advancement, and there are some monstrous-sized enemies in this. The spider I'm talking about is fairly small. It's 3 times the size of a human being, which is big. But when
that's big, dude.
But when you which by the way, if this happened, I'd blow my brains out. But as you progress in the game, the robots are the stature of a small building sometimes. And so I'm really fascinated to see what the later ends of this game is because I'm absolutely hooked for once. I don't know if I'll be playing this forever. This could be one of those hard ones where there's actually a huge player base right now. A lot of people are playing it.
Oh, yeah.
So this is the greatest time to get into it and before DLC drops and stuff. So I'm enjoying it. I don't know if it'll be for the long run, but I definitely do want to play more of this. You will definitely hear me talk about it in the next few weeks. And what's very neat also about this, just real quickly, is it is kind of Battle Pass focused, but Battle Pass not monetarily. It's just how you unlock things. So as you are playing it, there are several currencies, and the currencies, help you get new equipment, help you get new outfits, new hair, new cosmetics of any kind, new colors for gears and so on and so forth. So as you are playing, you are constantly evolving your loadout because you get to choose your loadout. You're constantly evolving the look of your character, and eventually you get to a point where you don't have a base weapon. You have weapons that you're capable of crafting that are level 4, level 5, and now you're able to take down these big machines. It's a good loop as of yet. I've been very, very into it. And it's a game that I did not think I would like, but I would heavily suggest everyone else.
Yeah, Uno, I know this game is super popular and pretty much everyone who's played it really enjoys it, but your description of it, I really got to play this game. It sounds like it's a lot of fun.
I think you would enjoy it. It is a lot harder alone, I will say. Typically, I was going to ask. I would much rather play these alone most of the time because both you and I are very much single-player focused guys. But it's a game that definitely is simpler to play if you have a team to support you because you will die quickly.
Encourages team play.
Exactly.
Sure.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. You need someone to heal you as much as possible. So I've been playing Arc Raiders. That's been great. But that's not all I've been playing. I actually am now a game that I have not played, but 2023's Marvel Spider-Man 2.
Great game.
On the PlayStation. I remember playing the first game in Miles Morales. The Miles Morales expansion I played just before 2 had come out. And at that time, I just felt exhausted with the routine of being Spider-Man. Because part of what I like about these games is the traversal. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna wait till this game goes on sale, and I'll buy it then. It took about 2 years until it was on sale, but it's finally, and I believe it's on the Sony year-end sale right now. I'm maybe 4 or 5 hours into it. The story is whatever. I think the story is well acted. It's well animated. But it's a superhero story. The thing I care about when I play these Spider-Man games is how cool is it to web around a city? Because that's really all I care about. And what I do want to discuss about Spider-Man is that it feels great to traverse the city, but they did add this piece that I feel is wild, where they added a wingsuit to it now. And so instead of just webbing from building to building and leaping and crawling up walls, you can activate this and glide. And while I say glide, you just become Superman in a weird way, where you could kind of traverse anywhere freely. You do slowly lose altitude, but there are these wind tunnels that will get you through the city. And they try to explain it with that's how the wind patterns are in a city. But if you hit one of those wind tunnels, you could theoretically just fly like you're Superman through the rings in N64 style, and go through an entire city, which at first I thought I did not want in a Spider-Man game. I was like, this is not what Spider-Man's about. If I'm not webbing, what's the point? 5 hours in, I'm like, I really am enjoying gliding around this city. It's more Spider-Man. I don't want to knock it on the head, but it is definitely, if you play those first two games and you're like itching to play more Spider-Man, this is what this is.
Yeah.
I'm also excited for the eventual Marvel release of Wolverine, so I thought this would be a good time to try and get into it while I am at year's end. Very fun. I'm enjoying it. I think anyone who has played the previous two may as well play this one as well. It's a good time.
Yeah, that's been a game, Uno, that I've also been meaning to finish. There were so many scenarios where I would start a game that I really enjoyed, and then something else would come out and play it. But that's seriously, the Spider-Man 2 has been on my backlog for a while. I definitely got to jump back into that one because I love the Spider-Man series. Insomniac does such a good job.
Yeah, the combat in this 2 is really good. They really expanded on it. Now that you can switch between both Spider-Man in this one. You can be Peter Parker and Miles Morales. Both of them have their different skill trees. Of course, my favorite part, my secondary favorite part of those games was like getting all the new outfits. I'm very cosmetic based when it comes to video games, and in this game, there's two characters and they both have 40 different outfits, and so I've just been really focusing on that on top of the trivial stuff. It's fun. It's a good time, a good game to like turn my brain off to as well. I just like swinging around, doing the little missions. I don't think I even did more than 2 main missions because I just care about swinging around the city.
Yep.
It's a great like pop in, throw 40 minutes into a video game and feel like I've fulfilled. And then last thing I want to talk about is actually another superhero game. It just came out this week, and that is Marvel Cosmic Invasion.
There we go.
If you don't know what that is the new game by Tribute Games. They just recently made the TMNT Shredder's Revenge hack and slash video game, which if you've been listening to this podcast, both myself and the Chugs absolutely loved. I put a lot of time into it. I'm loving this resurgence of hack and slash games because one, my generation is all about sitting on the couch and playing those, and it's kind of forced me to reintegrate with my friends who I do not see nearly as many times. So now we've been playing that online. Same people that I've been playing Arc Raiders with. Shout out Patrick and James. But I'm gonna say some. It's not a mean thing, but it is just kind of by the numbers hack and slash game, which is not a bad thing. I think what's unique about this game is that there are 15 characters you can play as. There is a campaign mode and there is an arcade mode. You can play this on your own as well. You do not need to play with anyone else. Campaign mode has every map in the game. You decide the path that you take, but you can play every single one. And every map has several challenges to maximize the XP you would get from it, because there are 15 different characters and you can kind of level them up to have more health, more mana, and then eventually, I believe if you defeat that, you get a secondary costume. And then there's also an arcade mode, which is the more conventional way, where everyone has 3 lives. They only have 1 attempt to get all the way to the end and play it. So I've been playing both of those. They're very by the numbers, but I think what's unique about this one, it has a large roster of characters, and while you don't actually just pick one character, you pick 2, because it has like these Marvel versus Capcom tag moves where you could start a combo and then with the switch of a button, your secondary character will come in. So like I've been playing a lot of She-Hulk and Beta Ray Bill, and so I'll have She-Hulk. She's got a sweet spinning wheel kick, and then I follow it up, and there's Beta Ray Bill who swings in with his hammer, and now I'm Beta Ray Bill. That part I think is very cool. It feels less repetitive this way to me. And I've been exploring a lot of the new characters. You unlock them as you play. I also believe this game will be packed with DLC in the future because the way they lay out the character screen, you could tell there's probably space for 15 other on the side. But yeah, I've been enjoying it tremendously. And I know, Chugs, you have been too, because you've been playing this week as well.
Yes. As a matter of fact, that is one of the games that I've been playing as well. So, Uno, that is your list for the week, right?
That is all I've played. Yes, correct.
Okay. Well, but perfect transition, because I also got to play a few hours of Marvel's Cosmic Invasion. I did have the chance months ago to play this game, little preview build at Summer Games Fest, which was really, really cool. And it was a blast then, so I was really excited to play it once it officially released. And again, same thing, really good, really fun beat 'em up. I've been having a blast. I agree with everything that you just said. I think one of the coolest features is the tag team moves. Again, you have to choose two different characters. I love the almost RPG-esque elements. It's not a true RPG, but with the idea of getting to level up your character or get different passive abilities, which is really cool. So far, all the time I've put in has been the campaign. And the thing I really like about the challenges is lots of times when you go to these different levels, it's challenges for specific superheroes. So if they didn't have those challenges, I know I probably would have ended up picking like the same two characters. But instead, I'm bouncing around and trying all the different characters. It's not forcing me to, but it's certainly encouraging me to. So then I'm getting to level up and get more powerful superheroes as it goes on. And most importantly, getting to experiment with their moves, their specials, the tag team moves, all that stuff. So yeah, Uno, I pretty much agree with everything you said. It's been a really fun beat 'em up. I think I'm definitely going to finish this game.
Me too.
I don't know if it's going to be a super long game, but love the cosmetics, love the tag moves. I hope they release some DLC for this. I'd love unlocking more superheroes. So if you're looking for a good, fun, traditional 2D beat 'em up with Marvel superheroes, this is it. It's a lot of fun. It's a blast. In addition to that, I did, of course, continue with my morning routine of playing Pokemon Trading Card Game Pocket. I don't really have any huge update on that, except for the fact as I've gotten further and further into playing this game, obviously collecting the cards is a huge part, but I've gotten more and more into the battles. And I'm still experimenting, trying to find out what like my go-to deck is going to be, but I'm currently using a fighting deck that has been very, very effective for me. So I'll be curious as I experiment with more like darkness, metal, all the different elements that you can use within Pokemon. But right now, my go-to battle deck is a fighting deck. So that's been a lot of fun. In addition to that, I know we talked about this last week, but I am streaming my first playthrough of Clair Obscur Expedition 33. Once again, I'm not going to say a single thing about the story, except for the fact that I think I am approaching the final moments of this game. And I guess all I want to say, because we've sung Expedition 33's praises up and down over and over again on this podcast, but Uno, when I do eventually finish it, I would love if we did a spoiler cast of Clair Obscur Expedition 33, because there's so much I want to say. There's so much I want to discuss. There's so many theories I would like to go over. Holy cow. One of the best stories I've ever experienced in entertainment in general, certainly within video games. This game's a joy. I'm like both so excited to see what happens and to see the conclusion, and I'm also so sad that I think it's almost over. But once again, if you want to see the final moments of my Expedition 33 playthrough, you can find that at twitch.tv/thechugs. What an amazing game. What an amazing game.
I do want to mention also, if we are going to talk spoiler cast, on December 22nd, we will be talking about our game of the year.
Yes, we
Fair
will.
warning, I think that's the day we might have to talk about some of the very cool things that happened towards the end of video games. So I'm giving you all a heads up. We're definitely going to be talking about Expedition 33. There is no
December
way
22nd.
There's no way we're not discussing that, and there's almost no way we cannot talk about at least 4 big events in that game. So do be warned, and put it on your calendar, because that's going to be a very exciting day for us.
Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait. In addition to that as well, I know I had mentioned I've been playing through Pokemon Legends ZA, and I put significantly more time into Pokemon Legends ZA now. Really, really progressed the main story, really explored more of the open world. Right now, again, minor spoilers to Pokemon Legends ZA, but the big thing I'm going through now is there are these rogue mega evolution Pokemon where I guess it causes them pain. It's not a good thing when they go rogue mega evolution. So you go around the map too and you fight these super powerful Pokemon that have this rogue mega evolution, and the fights are so cool. You're like in this arena, obviously with your Pokemon, but the Pokemon, the rogue mega evolution Pokemon is not only attacking your Pokemon, it's also attacking you. So you have to focus on doing your attacks with your Pokemon while also literally dodge rolling out of the way and like sprinting out of the way when when this Pokemon's coming after you. So it's really cool. Like the first time I did it, I got killed. Which I guess in Pokemon they say you passed out, obviously. But yeah, it's really, really fun. I think the story is shaping up and becoming more and more interesting. Again, I love just going around and going to the different wild zones or going to the top of buildings and seeing what items I can find, what Pokemon I can find. I'm trying to catch them all, Uno. I'm trying to catch them all. But yeah, Pokemon Legends ZA, again, has been a lot of fun. The deeper I get into it, the more addicting it is. So I will definitely have more updates there. It's a really, really good Pokemon game. Really, really good. Of course, already discussed Marvel's Cosmic Invasion, which we talked about up front, playing that on my Steam Deck OLED. But I have two more games that I would like to discuss. First and foremost, there recently was an Elden Nightreign DLC drop.
Yes.
It made me so excited. Not only because of the new map, not only because of the new characters that you can play as, but because Artorias is now a mini boss, and that just got me and so many Souls fans so excited. I know they added Artorias into the Elden Ring Nightreign DLC. I know they added a double fight from Dark Souls 3 as well. It's like two demons that you fight at the same time, which is really, really cool. So I downloaded the DLC. I was all ready to go. I'm all excited. I'm like, all right, I'm going to jump into it. And then I jump into it, and I realize I have barely scratched the surface on the base game. So one, I'm sure I could access the DLC if I wanted to, but two, I don't know if I even can because I need to clear like more of the base game. So I'm like, okay, I've been meaning to play this forever. They also added a much easier update for solo play. Now the enemy health pool is much smaller if you're playing by yourself. They've made that very easy. Man, I'm getting my butt kicked, Uno. I'm getting my butt absolutely whooped in Elden Ring Nightreign. And I played the entire From Software Soulsborne catalog. I mean, I've beaten Demon Souls, Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3, Sekiro, Bloodborne, Elden Ring. I first tried Gale, baby. Dark Souls 3 final DLC boss. I thought I got this, no problem. I'm getting destroyed, dude. Getting absolutely destroyed, but it's been so fun. It's been so fun. So anyone who knows me knows that when I play games, I tend to play them very slow and really take my time and try to think about everything and collect as much as I can. Obviously in Nightreign, because this circle is closing in on you, you have to do everything quickly. And as I've been playing, the fun thing has been this, is as I'm playing and jumping into this map, I am now starting to recognize where everything is, what type of route I would like to take to, get more flasks or level up my weapon. Most importantly, leveling up my character. Because the interesting thing about Nightreign, again, and so many people know this for those who have played it, but you could go and you can spend, 5 to 10 minutes on one camp just because the boss in there has so much health. And then by that time, you've only leveled up once and the circle is closing in and you have to run somewhere else. So finding like small camps to go to, and like I said, different weapon upgrades and different health flasks. Also trying to get different passive abilities. For example, the final boss in the first Nightreign level is weak to holy damage. So you want to make sure at some point you go to a camp where you can get the holy affinity for your weapon to really, really help you out. So, man, again, I'm getting absolutely destroyed, but I'm having so much fun. I'm hoping to get far enough to where I can jump into the DLC to experience this Elden Ring version of Artorias, which would be really cool. I've also been experimenting with more characters as well. And I think I go back and forth constantly, and I know there are new characters that I could use also, but I think my two favorite characters, at least for solo play, are Iron Eye and the Duchess. Iron Eye is such a cool character. He's been in Nightreign from the beginning, but he uses a bow, so you can fight from a distance, which certainly doing solo play feels like the safer approach. I also really like Iron Eye's ultimate. He charges up this huge bow shot. You're also invulnerable for that second. It knocks that enemy down and any enemies behind you, and it does a bunch of damage, which is cool. But I also really love using Duchess as well because she is so fast and so quick. You can get so much DPS with the Duchess. You can do like 6 dagger swings before the enemy even has a chance to swing at you. And then if you have bleed or any sort of affinity like magic or anything like that, that can really up the damage. You can also, her ultimate, she just completely disappears from enemy sight, which is really, really cool. So as I'm jumping back into this, again, I'm excited to play more of the DLC characters. I'm excited to check out more of the DLC map. I'm hoping at some point I can clear a Nightreign mission by myself. I don't know if I'll be able to, but man, Elden Ring Nightreign is a blast. I can't wait to jump into the DLC, but it was just fun to jump back into it. It really, really was. It was a good time. And speaking of new releases this week, probably the biggest release this week, arguably, Metroid Prime 4 Beyond.
Yes, I have been waiting to play this all year and actually kind of forgot it came out. The advertisement for it is not very strong from Nintendo, I will say.
Yeah. It's so wild that it's here. Mm-hmm. So wild that it's here. So again, a lot of people very, very excited about this game. I personally have very little experience with the Metroid Prime trilogy, unfortunately. I played a little bit of Metroid Prime 1 and Metroid Prime 1 Remastered. Really enjoyed those games, but I ended up picking up something else and playing that. But I was very excited based on the excitement everyone else had. And again, the little bit that I did play the original Metroid Prime, I really did enjoy it. So I was excited about this one. I am having a blast with it. I'm only about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours in. But first and foremost, in my opinion, it by a mile is the prettiest Nintendo Switch 2 game I've ever seen. Ooh. This game is gorgeous. I was playing in docked mode. You have the choice immediately to play at 4K 60 frames per second or 1080p 120 frames per second. I decided to see what both of them looked like. They both look and run great. The game is so pretty that normally I am a performance guy, where especially for first-person games, I'll normally do the 120, 1080p, but I decided to do 4K 60. Man, it's a smooth 60 the entire time, and at 4K, again, the game is absolutely beautiful. Like jaw-droppingly beautiful. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous game. Also, the soundtrack. I'm still very early. Minor spoilers. One of the earliest stages you get to is this like jungle area. I've had that song and that OST stuck in my head all day. I just played it for the first time last night. This morning I had it stuck in my head. It's like such a cool, awesome soundtrack. The gunplay feels really, really nice. It feels really good. You have the ability to scan objects, and you can scan so many things, and it will give you so much juicy lore on your environment and everything that you're seeing. Man, again, I'm still very early. I'm right now interacting with my first sidekick character, I believe. But they're already very early on are these, Metroidvania aspects to it, at least within this level, which has been really, really fun. Man, I'm excited to dive back into this a lot more because I'm having a really good time with it so far.
That's exciting for you to say because it has been a very polarizing game now that it's come out. Yeah. Reviews are either up in the 10s or some people are downright disliking this game, giving it 6s, giving it 5s. I played the recent remastered that came out on Switch 1, which I believe was a remaster of the first game or maybe even the third game. And I had never played the first-person Metroid games until that moment. And I love Metroidvanias. I played the Super Metroid game countless times, but I just kind of skipped on the GameCube generation, never got to play it. That game was incredible to play on the run. So I've been very, very excited for this one. The thing that people have mostly said is that it holds your hand too long at the very beginnings of the game. But from my friends who have played very far into it, a few of our gaming journalist friends, they've dropped their reviews as well. It trickles, much like all Metroid games, it trickles the powers that you receive, and as you get them, supposedly the game just feels better and better and better and better. And I'm about to have a very big travel week, and so I'm definitely playing this bad boy by next week.
And I'm glad that you brought that up, because again, even in this first stage, that's not like the prologue area, for example, is you do unlock an ability that allows you to open certain doors, which is really nice. When you're first walking through the stage, you can't do that, so you end up getting the ability and being able to go back. But then also you activate these platforms that are like these psychic energy platforms. But then when Samus scans them, it says, "Oh no, you need these boots to be able to like land on these platforms." So already it's a thing where it's like, oh, I'm going to want to come back to the first stage when I do get this ability to be able to get whatever treasure is up above. So I love they've already thrown those details in there that you're going to want to return to maps that you visited before once you get new powers.
So I'm very excited to get my hands on it. Was that all you got into this week, Chugs?
That was it for me, Uno.
Well,
that was it for me. It was a good week.
It was a good week. It's crazy that we're dropping like near game of the years, because some people's game of the year is this game. Yeah. In the month that people are deliberating it, it's been an insane year for video games. And just as a reminder, once again, we will be talking about our games of the year, as well as some other nominations that we will come up with on December 22nd. That will be our Monday episode for the holiday season. Expect probably a longer episode than usual. If the previous years are any indication. Also, our podcast has just begun longer and longer because we keep playing more and more games. So especially this year, the strongest year in video games I think I've ever lived.
Same.
We're going to be deliberating a lot of games, and we will be giving you our top 10 list of video games. Do check us out December 22nd. But that's not it for our podcast. We've talked about a lot of video games, and there's a lot more to talk about because there's a bunch of news, as well as our producer quiz and our mailbag, all coming to you after this.
And welcome back to episode 87 of the All Elite Arcade podcast with myself, the Chugs, and of course, Evil Uno. Before we get into the news, we of course have a new segment that me and Uno love very much. It is called the Producer Quiz. So a huge thank you to our producers for sending in 3 questions for me and Uno to answer. Multiple choice. We're going to see who gets the answers correct, who gets the answers wrong. But most importantly, we're all going to learn some video game trivia. And we will reveal these answers at the very end of the podcast. So, Uno, are you ready to jump in?
Oh, I am ready.
All right. I love this. Okay, question 1. Which video game character owns the world record for most magazine cover appearances? Is it A, Scorpion from Mortal Kombat, B, Minecraft Steve, C, Lara Croft, or D, Pikachu?
Ooh, that's actually quite a tough one.
That is.
I think I've got my answer down though.
I've got my answer as well.
I'm gonna go with. I'll answer first if you'd like, and then you can answer second.
Sure.
I think Pikachu is the one that has the most.
Okay, and I'm gonna guess C, Lara Croft.
Really? Oh,
C.
Interesting.
That's my guess. I think.
My immediate thought was her as well, but I was like, considering how long of a property Pokemon and Mortal Kombat have been, they probably would have it on Croft. But who knows? We'll find out towards the end.
I think I was between C and D as well, and honestly, I think you might be right, but I'm going to go with my gut. I'm going to say Lara Croft. Okay, question 2. According to the official timeline in Hyrule Historia, which game takes place first in the Legend of Zelda chronology? A, The Minish Cap, B, Ocarina of Time, C, A Link to the Past, or D, Skyward Sword? And Uno, I'll go first on this one.
Okay.
I'm going to guess D, Skyward Sword.
Damn. Skyward Sword was also the one I was thinking, so I'm gonna also go with D. This is a weird one because I've never completed Skyward Sword, but I've played all of.
It's a great game.
It's a great game, I hear. But I've played all of these. I played it when it originally came out and had all the motion controls, and so I want to play it with the controller aspect for the next one. I honestly do not know the order of the games at all. Even the games I've played the most, Ocarina of Time and A Link to the Past, which I've beaten probably 5 or 6 times each, I can't tell you which one goes before what. So I think Skyward is the first based on some of the Sky stuff, but
I also, first of all, Skyward Sword's story, just incredible.
Okay.
It's so good. But second of all, Uno, I am 99.9% sure that we are correct. And I think maybe someone could correct me in the comments, but I'm pretty sure the order from earliest to newest in the Zelda timeline is Skyward Sword, Ocarina of Time, A Link to the Past, and the Minish Cap.
Ooh.
If anyone knows the answer, please let me know down in the comments.
YouTube.com/AWGames. Get in there. I would love to know that too. I actually might have to, once this episode goes in, I might go look at that timeline because I've never actually popped into there before.
It's a confusing timeline. It's a confusing timeline for sure. Okay, question 3, last but not least. Which of these video game accessories is not real? A, Game Gear Police radio scanner. B, Atari MindLink headband. C, Game Boy Pocket fishing sonar. Or D, exciting boxing inflatable controller. Ooh.
None of these sound real.
None of these sound real.
Yeah, this is worrying me because I do not know.
I have no idea. Absolutely no idea. Do you want to guess?
Sure.
I have an answer in my head.
I have one as well. I'm gonna say D.
Guessing.
I'm gonna say D. I'm doing D across the board again. I think.
Okay.
And honestly, I'm gonna tell you my hand, even though it might influence you.
It won't change. I have it. Okay. I have it. Yeah.
The other 3 specify developers and consoles in a way that I'm like, maybe the 4th one is the one that wasn't written the same way, and so I'm basing it on that alone.
Dude, that's a great argument. I hadn't even thought of that either. But my gut is saying A, the Game Gear Police radio scanner.
So that's the other. What would be the use for that?
Right.
It's a video game console.
Is that allowed?
Is that legal? I don't think it is.
Yeah. I don't think that's allowed. But again, huge thank you to our producers for these great questions. This was a challenging producer quiz this week. But yes, once again, I will reveal the answers at the very end of today's podcast. Uno currently in the middle of comeback of the century, so this might be the continuation of that. This might
10-6. I've got 1 win. that's what the comeback of the century is. I'm currently on 1 win streak.
This is how it starts.
Gonna make it number 2 today. Gonna make it number 2. We've got a bunch of news for today. One including one that has been discussed so much this week, but we're gonna go our little spin on it. If you did not know, Netflix. You know them, big giant of the streaming platforms, has agreed to buy Warner Brothers, including their game development studios that make Mortal Kombat and Hogwarts Legacy. If approved, they will own TT Games and Rocksteady, which is pretty immense. We're not going to talk about the overreaching impacts of this because we don't fully understand them right now, and we're not the podcast that's going to be the ones that try to decipher it. But if this goes through, if it goes through the House, if it gets approved by the government, if all of this goes through, this will take several years to get to this point. But they will own DC properties for video games, and they will own Mortal Kombat for, and I guess Harry Potter's IP rights as well. The deal is for $82.7 billion. Wow. Yeah. Wow. Crazy amount of money. That is a crazy amount of money. Outside of the world of video games, people are worried about it for several reasons. A lot of it being, one, obviously wrestling people are very worried, which I don't think has any weight. But moviegoers, the people who like to go to the cinemas, are pretty worried about this because Netflix has already said that, and Warner Brothers owns a lot of the properties that would go into movie theaters.
Yeah.
Has already said that they are looking to shorten the length of time they would go into movies to 3 weeks, which essentially will probably kill movie theaters as a whole if there is no way around it, which to me, as a person who loves to go at the movie theater, is quite worrisome. But let's not be doom and gloom. We actually don't know what's going on quite yet. But that is one of the main arguments against this merger. But we shall see. It is an evolving thing. This is just a confirmation just now. It still needs to go through so many steps before it is official.
Right.
That's not all. We've got more news here. For some reason, it closed here. Oh, there it is. We're in Game of the Year season. An immense time. Next week we have the Game Awards. December 11th on Thursday. Next episode, we're going to be discussing it. Heads up.
Yeah, we are.
I am so freaking pumped for it. I'll be watching that live. I would love to live stream it, but I think I'll be in Europe, so we will see. But I'm telling you, the Chugs will probably be doing it. Twitch.tv/thechugs.
1,000%.
Yes.
1,000% going to be streaming.
Yeah, there's no way. He has historically done all the Game Awards. So do check that out with him. But there's a bunch of Game of the Year awards and Game of the Year lists that have been dropped out. Rolling Stone has just dropped one, and I would like to go through their top 25 games of 2025. Rolling Stone, a major magazine publication, now also a major website for video games. And here are their top 25. We're not going to deliberate and talk about actually details on this stuff because we're about to do so on December 22nd, our Game of the Year episode. But according to Rolling Stone, number 25 is Silent Hill F. Number 24 is Final Fantasy Tactics: The Ivalice Chronicles, which I have not played, but I did play the original. That is an ad. Rematch, which I've never even heard of. This is a soccer game.
Me either.
It's a dedicated sports sim. Never heard of it. Very curious about that. Number 22, Citizen Sleeper 2 Starward Vectored. This is a cyberpunk setting narrative game with a bunch of RPG elements. 21 is Split Fiction.
Great game.
I hear great things. A fantastic co-op game by the people you may know who made It Takes Two, which was another great co-op game. Number 20, The Seance of Blake Manor. That is my big detective puzzle game that I was talking about for the last few weeks. Despelote at number 19. That is a very odd artistic first-person narrative game. Number 18, Absalom. That's the hack and slash game I talked about a few weeks ago. That really gives off a Streets of Rage 4 quality to it.
Big time.
Number 17, Fatal Fury City of the Wolves. That's a fighting game. I have not touched that yet. Fighting games are by far, I think, other than racing games, the type of game I get the least amount of play into.
Yeah, me too. I would like to change that, but yeah, me too.
16, Ninja Gaiden 4. The Chugs has been talking about this one for the last few weeks.
Great game.
Number 15, Battlefield 6, which I have not played, but I heard great things about this year. Number 14, Shinobi Art of Vengeance.
That's a great one. Really good game.
Chug's been playing that one. It's the year of the ninja this year.
Oh, yeah.
Number 13, Mario Kart World. That was the big Switch 2 launch title. Of course, a great Mario Kart game. This is where it starts getting surprising. Number 12, Hollow Knight Silksong.
Yeah.
And,
wow.
I will deliberate this later, but it's to each their own, but I kind of understand it too. Right. Number 11, South of Midnight.
Very good title.
Chuck's quite enjoyed that one.
Yeah.
Number 10, Arc Raiders. I talked about it a bunch today. Multiplayer game. It's taken people by storm. Just recently out. Number 9, Ball Pit. That's the roguelite pinball style game. I've enjoyed it. Kind of like Breakout. Number 8, Death Stranding 2. We talked about that a lot this year too. Number 7, The 100 Line Last Defense Academy. I talked about this a little bit. This is the people that made Danganronpa. It's a narrative game where not only do you beat the game once, but you can beat it up to 100 times for 100 different endings. And the way it works is it presents you, once you beat it once, it presents you with the tree, your decision path tree, So you could go and bounce back to specific parts to decide to change the path and essentially change the whole game and get a new ending. And the true ending, of course, is when you get all 100. I'll never do that. That's too much stuff. But very good game. Number 6, Blueprints.
There it is.
Don't worry. I'll talk about it in 2 weeks. Number 5, Ghost of Yote, of course. Number 4, Dispatch, which Chugs, I think you should play.
I think I should. I was literally thinking that this week. I'm like, I got to play Dispatch before the end of the year.
It's a short and easy one to get through, too. I think you would enjoy yourself.
Okay.
Number 3, Donkey Kong Bonanza. Hey, Donkey Kong's back. I get it. Number 2, Hades 2, a perfect sequel. And number 1, unsurprisingly, Clair Obscur Expedition 33. That is the top 25 Rolling Stone games. We're not going to give our opinions on that listing because we're going to be making our own, and I don't even know quite yet where I'm about to put everything because I have 2 weeks to finish some games.
Same. Yeah, it's going to be the hardest top 10 list I think ever to like try to decide where everything falls. And then even looking at that top 25 Rolling Stone list, just again, I know I sound like a broken record, but my God, what a year!
Seriously,
what a year!
I'd be very surprised if Expedition 33 isn't the one that runs away with the most nominations this year, or at least the most number ones across the board. Because from all the ones I have read as of yet, because people start in December. 33 is at the top of the list for most of them. And well-deserved, of course.
Yeah, absolutely.
More news. The people who made Shovel Knight are now making a new game. I believe it's called Mina the Hollower. I talked about it fairly recently. I played a demo at Steam Next Fest, and I believe at Gamescom I played a little bit of it as well. Well, their next game was delayed. It was supposed to come out late October. Still to be determined when it will come out. They wanted to avoid the Silk Song, and just there was a lot of big releases in the fall. So they were pushed back a little bit. They've come out and they said that this is a make or break game because their previous game, which was Shovel Knight Pocket, did not meet up to expectations. So therefore, they've lost a lot of money developed into this game. They need to sell over 200,000 copies, or else this will be a failure and they will likely close down. So. One sad note. This is like the third time this week I hear about developers talking about how their game underperforming will ruin them. This was a bit surprising because Shovel Knight was a huge property at one point. But I genuinely think, considering the pedigree of these people, 200,000 copies seems pretty attainable. I think.
Okay. I agree. I think they'll do this. And like you said, Shovel Knight is so regarded as one of the best indie titles ever. Shovel Knight is such an amazing game. Oh, yes. So, and this one looks incredible as well. So not only do I think they will, I'm very confident they will. Mm-hmm. I think they got this.
Also, if you have never played Shovel Knight retroactively, I think you should. If you like NES-style games, that is the most modern version of one, and by far... It has a lot of legs to it. You would be surprised how distinct one level is to the other. So many playable characters in it too. It's well worth your time. Go check it out.
Awesome.
Next piece. I'm gonna keep this last one for later. But did you, Chugs? I know you know this because we discussed this right before this. But just recently, on a week-to-week basis, a video game console outsold both the PS5 and the Xbox. This is a weird one because I never heard about this console until this very news piece. The NEX Playground Interactive Gaming System outsold both PlayStation and Xbox on that week. Now, if you're like me, you're probably wondering, what the heck is that? The NEX Playground is a digital console that came out that is based on motion sensors. So it's like a Kinect, if you will. It's almost more geared towards family play and like more children orientated. And the way it works is you purchase this console and it has 5 built-in titles installed right off the bat. And if you would like to play more games, they have a subscription pass that costs $49 for 3 months or $89 for the full year. The console itself, I believe, sells for about $500 if I remember correctly. Oh, no, currently $250. So really not that expensive, but it is it is movement based. It's really just about movement stuff. You're not going to be playing Red Dead 2 on this, heads up. But I guess it's a hot commodity right now, which is impressive because I, as someone who is pretty on the pulse of these video game things, had never even heard about this.
Yeah, same. Good for them.
Yeah, seriously, good for them. It just shows you that there is a space for more consoles. If you have something unique to it, it can happen. And honestly, this article alone may get me to buy one of these just to see what the hell this is all about.
Yeah.
At that price point, too. Not too bad.
Yeah.
And then the final story I want to talk about Clair Obscur Expedition 33 again. But I want to talk about a thing that's very interesting. Actors and the cast of Expedition 33 have been motioning a petition for the Game Awards to add a new category for nominations, and that being the motion capture category. We already have, best story, we have best design, we have best voice acting.
Yeah, best performance with voice acting.
Exactly. Best even supporting voice actors as well. They are saying that the motion capture should be nominated because a lot of video games, that is at the crux of everything. When you're seeing incredible voice acting from Ben Starr, for example, it is very likely Ben Starr had nothing to do with emotions. That might be a different person. So if you feel like an emotional weight behind the physical actions of a character, that actually is a different person. And so they believe that they've always had motion capture performers be undervalued, and they feel like they are very, very important supporting roles in these games. And because they are the most nominated game in the history of the Game Awards, they have a little bit of pull here. They are coming out and asking that, and this came from the stars of the game itself, that a new nomination should be put up because it's about time that these people are rewarded for the hard work that they've done.
Yeah, I love it. I couldn't agree more because there's so much that goes into these amazing games that we enjoy and amazing games that we play. And my God, motion capture, it takes a lot of work. That's a ton of work. So absolutely, I love that they said this, and I agree. There should be a motion capture award as well.
Mm-hmm. And so like last month, Charlie Cox was awarded a Game Awards nomination for his character in Expedition 33. And his main driving point was that while he is very thrilled about the nomination, he feels that it is unwarranted because it cannot be accepted solely by him. It should be shared with its motion capture performance, which we've never heard of before, Maxence Carzol. And that just shows you these people typically do their job and they're never heard of before. And they believe also not only just because it would reward an individual and it would nominate some people, but I think it would bring a lot of attention to a part of video games that people do not understand quite yet.
Yes.
Which I think is above all, just the information that you would get from this and the knowledge you would get for this, I think would be an important nomination. And so I hope this passes through for a future Game Awards.
Yeah, me too.
And that is it for the news this week. If you think we missed anything of importance, go to youtube.com/AWGames. Let us know down below. Let people read about this news piece, and maybe we will address it next week. We're not done, though, because right after the break, you'll get the answers from the producer quiz and our favorite segment of the show, the Arcade Mailbag. We will be answering your questions right after this. Welcome back. It's time. It's finally time for the All Elite Arcade Mailbag, brought to you by our good friends at Upper Deck. As always, Upper Deck is cracking open the most electrifying AEW trading card release yet, and that is the 2025 SP Game Use set. We've opened a few of these before. Incredible box of cards. You get a bunch of cool stuff, and today we're about to present some more cool stuff. What do we got today, Chugs?
Starting off strong, Uno.
Okay, I'm
starting
ready.
off real strong.
Whoa! Mansoor Authentic Rookie card. Beautiful.
Look at that.
Chris Statlander, there she is. We've got a Jack Perry card. Oh, and here's our first ring-worn one. This is Darius of Top Flight with a ring-worn canvas on there. Whoa!
Wow.
This one is from a match. This is from Will Ospreay versus Kyle Fletcher, both ring-worn canvases on there, or ring-worn gear in that. And Whoa.
Ooh.
You just pulled up a ring-worn hologram with a hologram signature on it. That
With
is
an autograph
quite
as well.
rare. We've got Camille. That's her authentic rookie card as well. And that is your full pack. These are available right now. This is AW's first ever game use product, and it's stacked with pieces from the ring. Each box delivers one autograph and at least 2 memorabilia or tech cards. We were lucky. Not only did we get an autograph, but 3 tech cards in there as well. From championship belts to event banners, kendo sticks to trash cans, this set This set dives deep into the grit and glory of AW's most iconic moments. Yes, there's even a one-on-one fork, a nod to the explosive move Hangman Adam Page made on Jon Moxley at All In Texas. Whether you're chasing match-used relics or tech-layered rarities, this release is pure adrenaline for collectors. Collectors can now get their hands on a box in their local hobby shop. Visit upperdeck.com to find a hobby store near you. It's time, finally, for our favorite segment of the show. As always, brought to Upper Deck, it's the Arcade Mailbag. We've got 2 questions today.
Yes. And first and foremost, we have a question from Chase. Chase, thank you very much for the question. Hey, Chugs and Uno, what are your favorite 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10, 8 out of 10, and 7 out of 10 games? Wow, Chase, this is a tough one. As far as like actually trying to come up with games that in my brain or have been reviewed at a 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10, 8, that'd be really tricky. But I certainly know, as far as 10 out of 10 games go, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, Elden Ring. To me, Red Dead Redemption 2 is a 10 out of 10 game. I mean, those titles are so incredible. Final Fantasy VII Remake and Rebirth are incredible. 10 out of 10 games. Hollow Knight and Silksong, and I mean, I could just list over and over again some of my favorite titles. But as far as the rankings that either they've been given or I would give them, that's a tricky one for me. That's a tricky one.
On my side, I can tell you this: I don't often rank my games. I don't give them 10s. I don't give them 9s, 8, or 6 or 5s or whatever. But I can give you kind of a spectrum of games. Your 10 and 10s. We've already talked about Red Dead. We've already talked about The Witcher 3. Those are absolutely 10s. I think Outer Wilds should be up there. I think Return of Obra Dinn should be up there in the 10. Blueprints. Those are a lot of my puzzle games. The Witness. There are a ton of 10 and 10s. In fact, it's not hard to list off 10 and 10s. Last of Us, Mario Odyssey, Bonanza. There's a bunch of great video games, Expedition 33. But if we're talking about the lower spectrum of games, as far as like 7, 10s, passables, one of my favorite developers, Suda51, who made the No More Heroes series. And I don't think those are great games. They're not perfect games. In fact, there's a lot of like bad parts to it. But man, I can't tell you. I can't tell you how much I enjoy those. Those are definitely like 8s or 7s out of 10s. No More Hero 1s, No More Hero 2. 3 would be even lower than that, honestly. And then he's released other games too: Shadow of the Damned, Chainsaw, Lollipop. They're not exceptional games, but man, I can't stop myself from ever playing them when they come out. Suda51 makes some of my favorite 7s and 8s out of 10s.
And what I love about this question, too, is it brings up this interesting thought process. Because to me, there's always been a difference between like objectively incredible games and also your favorite games.
Yes.
Like for example, Halo 5 Guardians seriously might be one of, if not my favorite games ever. And that's probably an 8 out of 10 game. It really is. But like, it's so important to me for certain reasons and where I was in my life and how that kind of snowballed my love and passion for gaming and things like that. So I do think it's fun to discuss and talk about too. Obviously, lots of times if you play an objectively amazing game that you feel like is a 10 out of 10, it also is going to be one of your favorites. But like you said, Uno, I also have games that are some of my favorites that maybe aren't objectively 10 out of 10. So that's always an interesting discussion to have. But yeah, Chase, that was a great question.
Yes, thank you. I would love also to let us know 10 out of 10s. I know what those are. Let us know your favorite 7 out of 10s. YouTube.com/AW Games. I would love to see what you come up with.
Yeah. And last question, last but not least, we have a question from Vaughn. Vaughn says, "Hey guys, what are your favorite cutscenes from a game? Let's go. It's hard for me to choose, but my favorite two come from Spider-Man and Elden Ring.
Okay.
The cutscene where Aunt May is in her hospital bed and tells Peter she's known he was Spider-Man all along before she passes away made me cry for the first time I watched it. Me too. What a scene. As for Elden Ring, the cutscene where Rykard pulls his sword out of the snake in the second phase of the fight is imprinted into my mind. So badass." Vaughn, I agree completely on both of those scenes you just said. That Rykard moment was so cool. I think it's between that scene with Rykard and then this isn't a cutscene, but within the fight with Radahn where he disappears and comes down with gravity magic.
Oh, that meteor attack that he does?
Yeah, the meteor attack. God, it's so cool. And yeah, the Aunt May scene, that made me cry too, Vaughn. That also made me cry. But the ones that are, I'll list three. There's so many. I mean, I could list four, but there's so many incredible cutscenes I can think of within games. I've said this before, but the Ghost of Tsushima intro, where they show the title screen and then you go right into playing and exploring in the open world, that is burned into my mind as well with an incredible track. The opening cinematic in Doom Eternal, where someone is screaming, "Somebody please help us," and Doom Guy cocks the shotgun and Mike Gordon's music comes in. It fires me up, makes me want to run through a wall. Of course, the iconic Final Fantasy VII intro is another one that is also burned into my memory. Speaking of getting emotional, when Final Fantasy VII Remake came out and they remade that beautiful scene and they show all of Midgar with the Final Fantasy VII thing came up, that made me emotional. And another, I love the Metal Gear Solid 2 Sons of Liberty intro cutscene as well.
Yes.
And I love that soundtrack also. But yeah, so many amazing cutscenes. Love your choices. But yeah, there's a few for you.
I have a very hard time specifying on one, but I do want to give a nod to a developer that I don't play all of their games, but when Blizzard drops a cutscene, you know you're seeing premier tech at display.
I'm so glad you said that.
When I used to be really big into Diablo 1 and 2. 3 and 4, I was less so. I think it just, there are so many games out there. Eventually, you just kind of gravitate towards different stuff. But one thing I could always get excited for is that when a Diablo game would come out, that opening cutscene or the end of act cutscenes, some truly impressive visuals, but also it's just some most grotesque stuff ever. Diablo 4, I know for sure, has like a big martyr scene where like a lady gets drained of her blood and like her veins get torn out and attached to this cross. And every time they make one of these, I'm always like, they'll never top it. This is as beautiful as it gets, which is not the case. They always end up topping it. And then I want to do an extra shout out. Final Fantasy summons in general, some of my favorite cutscenes by far. You see them quite often because I was a big summon guy. Anytime a summon would drop, I'm using it. I don't care. I want to see this cutscene. But like the Alexander ones, Bahamut always has incredible ones. Leviathan is as well. I love those. Those are among some of my favorite cutscenes as well.
Yeah. So cool. So once again, Chase and Vaughn, thank you very much for the questions. Appreciate it. Love this segment. This segment.
Thank you to everyone that sent your questions. If you want your questions answered in the future, go to tbs.com/arcade mailbag. If you are in North America, we will pick 2 or 3 for the next time. It's finally time. Let's get those producer quiz answers. Let's find out if I did this.
It's time, baby. All right. I'm going to scroll down.
Okay.
I'm ready. Okay. Oh my God. Okay. Question 1. Which video game character owns the world record for the most magazine cover appearances? Uno, you guessed Pikachu. I guessed Lara Croft. The correct answer is Lara Croft.
This is wild, by the way.
When you said that, I'm like, man, I should switch to Pikachu. But my just gut was telling me Lara Croft. I'm so pumped. Okay. The answer was Lara Croft. She was on the most magazine covers. According to the Guinness Book of World Records, at the most recent official count in April this year, Lara Croft has been a cover girl 2,300 times, including titles like Newsweek and Time.
That's crazy.
Wild. That's wild.
It must have been huge at the time it came out because I never attached to Lara Croft until the remakes or like the new Man, I forget. Eidos, I think, made those last ones.
Okay. So I do remember, whether it's watching video game documentaries or I just remember when Tomb Raider really blew up, how Lara Croft really was all over the place. She was everywhere on so many different magazine covers. But man, Lara Croft, even more than Pikachu, which is wild to think about. Pikachu's got to be up there.
It has to be up
there. Question 2. According to the official timeline in Hyrule Historia, which game takes place first in the Legend of Zelda chronology? Uno, we were both correct. That's right. The answer is Skyward Sword. The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword 2011 is the earliest game in the official timeline, even though it was the 15th original mainline Zelda title released in the U.S., the 15th mainline title. But yes, everything starts in the Legend of Zelda series in Skyward Sword. So both of us got that one. And question 3, which of these video game accessories is not real? I guess the police scanner. You guessed the boxing inflatable controller. The answer was the Game Gear police scanner.
Yes, it is.
The Game Gear police scanner is not real. And then we got a bunch of juicy lore here. The Atari headband picked up electrical impulses from the forehead muscles and transmitted them to a receiver, which would attach to a video game or home computer console like the Atari 2600. The product was never released to the public.
That's wild. I don't really even understand how that would work.
Yeah, wow. The Game Boy Pocket sonar was released by Bandai in 1988. It used a sonar that would plug directly into your Game Boy using a wire to detect fish in bodies of water. That's wild.
Weird. Okay.
And Exciting Boxing was a Famicom boxing simulation game that came with a big inflatable controller. You'd punch the inflatable boxer, and the sensors inside it would pick up where you hit and how hard, transferring that information to the game.
Reading that, is it wrong that I kind of want to own that now? That sounds awesome.
Oh, I absolutely want to own that.
Yeah, that
all
sounds
of
cool.
Those accessories seem incredible because I didn't know any of them existed.
Me too.
Yeah.
Chugs, that means you got all 3 right, which means the comeback has been thwarted. You're now at 11. I'm now at 6. Our winner of this week, the Chugs.
Big week.
The Chugs, of course, very knowledgeable in video games. But this week, really, you knew Skyward Sword, and Lara Croft, you remembered. That last one was a crapshoot for both of us, though.
Oh, but Lara Croft, I had a gut feeling, but then again, I seriously, I mean this. When you guessed Pikachu, in my brain, I'm like, I should have guessed Pikachu. So I'm so glad I stuck with it because I do remember hearing she was on a bunch of magazine covers. But yeah, that last one, literally no idea. Just a total shot in the dark. And I figured police radio scanner has got to be illegal in some way.
I didn't even consider it. That's the worst part of it all. We will have more Producer Chris in our future episodes. Make sure you come back every single Monday. Hit that subscription button wherever your podcasts are, or watch our YouTube format. That's the video format, youtube.com/awgames. You can find it every Monday at noon Eastern Standard Time. Our podcast ends up in the wee hours of the morning, so if you are subscribed and you wake up on Monday, it will be there. Do check us out for the next few weeks, because next week we're talking about the Game Awards. It's going to be a big week. There's been some teases from Jeff Keighley, and I'm pretty sure we're getting at least one of the largest game releases announcements. So do check that out next week. We will be talking that on Monday. And then the week after that, December 22nd, that's our Game of the Year deliberations. We'll bring in our top 10 games of the year. We might bring extra games to talk about as well. But do expect a little bit of spoilers on that one. We are very excited, and it will likely be a long episode. As always, you can find us on Twitch, twitch.tv/AWGames every Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is when we play it. Usually MXM is hosting, but you can find ourselves on Twitch, twitch.tv/EvilUno. I will be on there next week. I don't know what I will be playing. Actually, maybe Metroid. That might be a good time to do it. Might be a good time. Yeah. Plus, the Chugs is actively playing Expedition 33. He's got to finish it before the end of the year. He's got to. Deliberations are 2 weeks away. Thank you to everyone for listening. Of course, we couldn't do this without you. Thank you for the immense amount of support. This is by far our favorite part of the week. We will see you next Monday so that we can deliberate more video games. Thank you again, and bye-bye.